Hello. This is our next lesson with our mini science life book. We will be discussing pages 8 and 9 today. And so I have made you another PowerPoint to share with us today. And I have to get it open. It is right here. Okay, so let's get it open to the first page. Now, the first page we're going to be talking about today is page 8. And I'm going to start off with a vocabulary word. I'm only going to give you the clue words and then see if you can figure this out. What word am I talking about? The first clue is smart. The second clue is brain. The third clue is knowledge. IQ. And lastly, intellect. What do all those words have to do with one another? And what one word are all of those describing? All right, let's talk about page 8 in our mini life science book, and then I will give you the word in a few minutes. We're discussing today the nervous system. Your brain. What do you know about each part of your brain? Oh my goodness, such a complex thing. Some scientists say we only use 11% of our brain, and yet we have so much space up there. We are not maximizing it. So this is a picture I found on the internet, and I thought I would share it with you. We're going to go over each little section. This is a video that I found for you that discusses it. What word? You want to know what the word was for smart, brain, knowledge, IQ, and intellect? It's intelligence. And that's what your brain stores. Your brain stores so much intelligence. Now, it stores more than we can access. So you are taking information in and pictures and videos in your head. And can you reach them when you need them? That's where intelligence comes in. All right, so let's discuss first thing I did. Whoops, go back one. The first thing I did was draw an outline, just kind of a rough outline of our brain. Now, you know, in class, we've talked a million times about how every time you get a wrinkle, it's a place to store new information. So that's what these little lines are that I have put in this picture of a brain. Now, this is a sideways picture of the brain from the side of your head. And it is demonstrating 5 sections of the brain. There's little sections within big sections, but there's mainly 5 lobes. They call them lobes. And each lobe serves a different job. And it's amazing to me that the brain is made up of 80% water. It's very important that you drink your water every day. You need to be drinking at least 8 cups of water a day because that makes your brain function. Smarter people must know that they need to drink more water. All right, so this part back here, this light green, is called, I apologize if I pronounce this wrong, but I think it's the occipital lobe. This includes your vision and your color perception. So this is the back of your brain, the bottom of the back of your head, back here. And that's why we have to be really careful to wear a helmet, because if you fall and you hit the bottom of your head, you could lose your vision. That's where all of your vision is. It's such an important part of our success in life. This part right here is called the cerebellum, and that controls your balance and your coordination. If you hit the bottom of your head, the base of your head, you could become paralyzed because that's where all the nerves are that take care of the messages to our appendages, to our arms and legs. Next slide. I filled in a couple more. All right, this is the brain stem, this purple piece right here. Your brain stem controls your breathing, your heart rate, and your temperature. And that is so important, especially when you're asleep. Isn't it great that you have a brain that will work for you all night while you're sleeping? The next one. This is called the temporal lobe. And that is this yellow part right here. That controls your hearing and your learning and your feelings. That's where people say it's in your heart, but it's actually in your brain, your feelings. And so for different people, this piece is a different size. If you're super smart like Einstein, this part would probably be a little bigger and smushing into these other areas. Your frontal lobe is for thinking, speaking, memory, and movement. You're probably, if they diagnosed, dissected an athlete's brain, they might have a bigger section in the frontal lobe because that's where all their movement is, and that's what helps them become so amazing when they're training for a sport. The bone that covers your brain is called the cranium. I wrote you a little bit about cranium over here, just kind of an FYI. Your cranium is the bone that covers and protects your brain. You are responsible for protecting your cranium. Ways to protect your cranium include wearing a helmet when you ride your bicycle, skateboard, or scooter. You can also protect your cranium by wearing a seatbelt when you're riding in a vehicle. You only get one brain. You have to protect it. Your body was built with this big bone all the way over your brain. But then you have to protect the bone that's over your brain. You have to protect your cranium. You only get one brain. So if you mess it up, your life will not be the same ever again. All right, and the last picture that I'm showing you is the final picture of your brain. We have one more lobe to add, and that's this blue lobe. It's called the parietal lobe. That's for language and your sense of touch. It helps you determine what something is just by touching it. It also helps you if you decide to learn a foreign language or even English, the language you're supposed to know. Mine must be small because I really have a hard time learning foreign languages. But then I'm very sensitive to touch, so maybe not. I don't know. There's so much we don't know about the brain. Now, that's the end of page 8. Be sure you refer back to the picture from the internet that I originally got all this information off of if you want a better drawing than mine. But, you know, we just do our best on in these little books. We're learning so much just by trying. The next part is a portion of the brain where it talked about senses. And there was one part for listening and for hearing, and there was another part for touch. Well, we're going to talk about the 5 senses. I will tell you that I looked for a YouTube video for you on the 5 senses, and I found one. It's a little bit babyish, but go to it and check it out because she does mention a couple of things that you may know or you may not know. And every time you watch something or hear it, it goes into your brain a different avenue, and you are better at remembering it. But you need all your 5 senses for our survival. So here's our little book, page 9. I wrote 5 sensory organs at the top. And then we have our sense of touch and our sense of sight. Let's talk about our sense of touch for a second. Sense of touch is due to nerves that are found just below our skin that send information to our brain about what we are feeling. So we are able to determine what something is based on how it feels. I have another vocabulary word for you. I'm going to give you the hints, the 5 hints. Pirate, jewels, loot. Have you figured it out? Gold. And sometimes buried. Yes, yes. Treasure. You are my treasure. Yes, you are my treasure. Pirate, I guess that makes me a parrot. Jewels, loot, I love jewels, and gold, and buried sometimes. Those are your clues for the word treasure. But treasure is mainly, could be in your heart like you are in mine, but it could be something you see. So our sense of sight allows us to determine safe situations, to detect light, determine distance, read, and a million other things. That's what we do with our eyes. There are people that survive every day without their eyes, and they have a high quality life, and they have plenty of treasures because other things can be in the form of a treasure. Let's talk about this one next. Don't laugh at my drawings. Our sense of smell can help you detect at least 1 trillion different scents. Now, when I was doing this research for this page, I was totally blown away. I know this is an interesting, not important sentence, this next one, but what is more amazing is that dogs' sense of smell is 10,000 to 100,000 times better than ours. And if I can smell 1 trillion different scents, imagine how many a dog can smell. They are so amazing. No wonder they're our best friends. The next one would be our sense of taste. Our sense of taste is determined by 5 different types of taste buds that we have on our tongue. They're built in. You're made that way, and your brain already knows what to do with that information. It's so amazing. How does my brain know that I don't like slimy tomatoes? I don't know, because other people do. They love them. I wish I loved them. They're good for you. But we have, on our tongue, we have bitter, savory, sweet, salty, and sour. Everything we taste in the world is a mix of these 5 things. No matter what kind of food you're eating, whether it's pizza or Chinese food or Mexican food, they are a mix of all these different types of bitter, savory, sweet, salty, and sour. Some of you love those sour warheads. I could take them or leave them. But man, do I love chocolate, but not licorice. Moving on to our sense of hearing, the auditory system. The auditory system is our ability to perceive sound through vibrations. Now, I got to admit, one of my treasures is music. And that has nothing to do with my eyes. It's totally everything to do with my auditory system, my sense of hearing. Now, I want to move on to the next page because I have a couple of things for you that I want you to notice. When you complete your page 9, I want you to get out an old magazine or something, or you can even draw some pictures. I got pictures out of a magazine, and I put one by each thing, 2 by the eyes. This, I'm afraid, is a little piece of trash. I forgot to get it off there before I took a picture. But I want you to try to find something that matches what you have been learning. All right, so this touch or tactile, this is an old man's hand touching a sheep skin, a sheep fur. They call that wool. These are some sights. This guy's wearing a night vision goggles to change his sight. This is Palo Duro Canyon in North Texas. Smell. Oh, sight is the optic system. The smell is your olfactory system. And so I put some flowers here. And then for taste, I put all these seasonings here that I found in a magazine. And for the hearing, the auditory, I put a keyboard, piano keyboard. So it's really something you can do. I looked for little bitty pictures, and they fit on my page much better. So when you're finished, this is what it should look like. These 2 pages, page 8 and page 9. So have fun with it. And when you're finished, it will be, we're going to turn these in for next week. So I'll grade it when you show me your pictures. I'm looking for all your words to be nice and neat and your pictures. If you have any questions, just send me an email or video chat with me. Talk to you later. More to come. Page 10 and 11. Bye.